Hello, 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 and welcome to the third episode of this new season of Hear Their Voices. This is the ICON Podcast brought to you by the International Committee on Nigeria. My name is Priscilla Ozodo Acevedo, and it's such a joy to be back here with you. Merry Christmas week. I cannot believe we're in the week of Christmas. Y'all, it's still hitting me like film trick. This year has brought all that it has brought, but we are grateful and we are blessed and we are excited to be here on this Christmas week. It's a joy to be here. ICON is the International Committee on Nigeria, and we focus on advocating and bringing awareness to the genocide and persecution going on in Nigeria today. This week, I'm excited to be with you to bring more light. This season, we've been trying to give attention, special attention to the origins of the issues and the problems in Nigeria. And I'm really excited about our guests this afternoon because we promised you all that we'll be bringing people whose boots are on the ground, who are doing the work that ICON has been supporting. Today, you get to see where your support goes to. So it's a joy to have you. Last week, we talked a lot about Leah Xyongo, and it was such an enlightening time to have our guest here, Dr. Puldu, who was able to just give us some enlightenment. We had some news articles for you, and this week again, it's time for the news of the week. So that's where you cheer, you do some whoop, 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 news of the week. I feel like I need to bring in some kind of music that will play, and then we'll dance a little bit for the news of the week. But the news of the week this week does not bring me any dancing. It does not bring me much joy as much as I would love. So join me for the news of the week. These are our top stories this week. Thank you for praying. Thank you for fasting. Thank you for sending well wishes, because the boys who were kidnapped in Kankara, the government secondary school in Kankara, were released. In answer to the prayers and cries of all of us, over 300 boys were returned to their homes on Thursday, December 17th, following the kidnapping which was reported last week. This kidnapping took place in Katsina State on December 11th. According to a BBC report, the government negotiated with these kidnappers for the release of the government secondary school boys. And although Boko Haram had initially claimed responsibility for kidnapping these boys, the Katsina State's government is claiming that this was the work of local bandits who had come, and they had some complaints and conflicts with the local residents, and so they decided to kidnap 300 schoolboys. Government officials claim that these complaints will be looked into, and it's important to note that not all the kids were returned. Some who were kidnapped were not released to their families. Can we recognize a pattern here? There's a lot of kids kidnapped, some are returned, some are left. Now, I can't tell you how hard it was for me to summarize this news article, because I don't know about you all, but I was pissed. And yes, I said pissed. I was mad and upset because I was written with anger at the irresponsibility of our Nigerian government. Government officials have claimed that they did not pay any ransom, but they had conversations with these kidnappers, but no arrests were made. And I'm a little confused. They have access to have conversations. These kids were released and no arrests were made. What lessons are we giving to other militant groups who are going about and doing kidnapping people? So does this mean that if anyone has a complaint or is angry with their neighbors, they can go and kidnap innocent kids? If this is how people deal with their anger, my people, we shall have no country to live in. I'm a little bit perplexed by this, and if you are, please let me know your thoughts. How should this be handled? What should the government be doing? What are we supposed to jump and clap? Yes, we're excited and we're thankful to the Lord that these kids were released. But How are these kidnappers being held responsible? As I continued, I saw this pop up on my computer that said, "Hear their voices. I Can Help is live," and I want to give us a moment. Okay, I'm gonna pause the news of the week, and I'm gonna say, grab your phone. I forgot my phone. That's why I forgot to do this. We've done this every week. Grab your phone. This is important news. We want to get the story out there. Thank you all for joining us every week. Say hello on the chat. If you're watching us, tell us where you're watching from today. I want to shout you out. We are celebrating Christmas with a heavy heart with what's going on in Nigeria, but we're celebrating all the same. So share with your friends, share with your family. Let us know where you're watching from. We want to have this conversation. Remember what I said a couple of weeks ago. We want to make this a community where we're having conversations about a country we care very deeply about. So grab your phone, go on Facebook. If you're not subscribed to us, go on Facebook. AJ, can you just flash our links on the thing? Yeah, I Can Help on YouTube. You can watch it live. You can go on Facebook. Stand with Nigeria on Instagram. We will be sending all these links out for you. That was the commercial break. Back to the news of the week. Leave your comments below. I really want us to talk about this today. If you're joining us, I just gave the news of the week. I started by sharing that over 300 of the boys who were kidnapped from Kankara and Katsina State last week have been released. And we praise the Lord. And we give glory to God. And we celebrate with the families of these kidnapped kids. What about the kids that we're not? Thank you, Dr. Gloria. It's good to see you. What about the kids that we're not released? What about the Leahs and the Patiences? We're going to talk a little bit about Patience in a bit that have not been released. What is the government doing to hold these people accountable? Why does it keep happening? Some of you might be like, no, they got the kids back. That's why. So people are not being held accountable. Okay, let's keep going. Just a day after the kids were released, this is another news headline. Just one day after Nigeria celebrated the release of the Kankara schoolboys, Boko Haram strikes again. Boko Haram set up an ambush on the Damaturu-Maiduguri highway by setting a truck on fire and allowed them to rob several cars and they abducted at least 35 travelers. According to the cable news outlets, the insurgents, who were allegedly disguised in military outfit, Nigerian military uniforms, abducted the victims after attacking a large convoy of commuters near Garin Kuturu in Jakana at about 5 p.m. on Friday, December 18th. Ya Allah, please, y'all, help me think about this. This is a day after they've negotiated with the government. The militants, we're not saying the first group is Boko Haram, but as if to say, oh, you think you won. Boko Haram went out and 35 people are missing from their families today. Now there's talk about negotiations. I don't understand why the government is still having conversations and not sending a raid. If they know how to contact these people, then they know how to take them down. I'm sorry, Nigerian government. Personally, you're not doing your best. If you agree with me, or if you have a different opinion, please bring your comment. Today, I want to have a conversation. I want to see your comments. I want to see your thoughts. Whether you're watching this live or you're watching it later, I'm going to go back and go through your comments. I want to know what you think. Is the Nigerian government doing all it can do to take down this terrorist act, stop this terrorist activity in Nigeria? But I can't be shocked about the boldness of this terrorist when the government has set a precedence for little or no repercussions for terrorist activity. What scares me the most is that these terrorists have access to military uniforms. Have we stopped to ask ourselves, who is giving them these military uniforms? People see them coming and think, oh, this is the security armed forces coming to help us. Ashe, as we say in Nigeria, it is the terrorists that are coming to harm you. How can we bring awareness to our country? My people, it's time to speak out. What can you do today? What can you do today? On a lighter note, or for some good news, a hearing was held on Thursday, December 17th. Government Representative Chris H. Smith, co-chairman of the Tom Lantos Human Rights Commission, chaired a hearing to address the ongoing crisis in Nigeria. This is not the first hearing. There has been several hearings of its kind, okay? I'm going to bring my notes this way so I don't block your I don't block the news you're seeing. Testimonies were heard from U.S. State Department officials and human rights organizations, and Bishop William Avenya, a Catholic bishop from Nigeria, testified in this hearing. And here's what he had to say, and I quote. I really want you to lean into this quote because he has a lot to say. I love this quote because he says exactly what I would want to say in this situation. Please pay attention. He says, our Middle Belt region has truly become a valve of tears, a region where mass burials are very common. It appears as though what is happening here is part of a grand conspiracy. Our national government has not shown convincing signals of real commitment to ending the menace. He goes on to say the mass slaughter of Christians in Nigeria's Middle Belt by every standard meets the criteria for a calculated genocide from the definition of the Genocide Convention as from the definition from the Genocide Convention as acts committed with the intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethical, racial, or religious group. I'm going to read that again. He's defining what genocide means. Genocide is defined by the Genocide Convention as acts committed with intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group, as well as the available facts. He continues in his conversation. He says, this has inflicted deep mental, psychological, physical, and economic injuries to the affected families and communities. This news was sourced from insider@newjersey.com. Now, y'all, I want to take a moment to just say, while this is good news, and I'm grateful that the International Committee is stepping in and speaking about this, it's not the first of its kind. What needs to be done? What do you think? And I'm asking you, our viewers, what do you think needs to be done to ensure that Nigeria is held accountable? We don't feel safe anymore. Our government is celebrating the return of 300 children while 35 were kidnapped just the next day. They're celebrating the return of our boys while some of our girls are held in captivity. AJ, if you want to pull up this news item, we have this news article that is asking, where is Leah Shaibu right now? Where is Leah? Does she know that Christmas is coming? This is an opinion, and you can go to Opinion Nigeria, and it's a time to pause and say, while there's celebration and we're grateful to God that some of these boys have been returned to their families, Leah is still missing. Today, I heard of another girl who has been missing from her family for the past year. Her name is Patience Ishaku, and her parents are heartbroken because no awareness I've never heard her name until today. What are we doing to make sure that these voices are heard? How loud can we get? Y'all, what can you do today? You can share this news and let somebody hear the name Leah. Let somebody hear the name Patience Ishaku. What can you do today? And while all these abductions are happening in Nigeria, there is a task force in Nigeria that is urging Nigerians to celebrate Christmas with some caution because COVID is still present in Nigeria as well. And onto the news of COVID. COVID cases are increasing in Nigeria. Nigeria is the 5th highest country in Africa with COVID cases and with death rates. So there's a second lockdown being threatened. There's Nigeria is worried about the effects of the lockdown on the economy. But I want to end on a bit of a light note, because I read this news in Pidgin English, and I just wanted to read this in Pidgin English for us, just to lighten the mood a little bit. The presidential task force of COVID-19 don't want Nigerians to avoid Christmas carol, non-essential travels, family put together, and anything where they fit escalates the cases of coronavirus for the country as the year they end. Them say Nigeria don't rank 5th country for Africa with the highest cases of COVID-19 and deaths. Chairman for the PTF, Boss Mustafa, the national coordinator, Sani Aliyu, Minister of Health, Osage, and the Director General of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, Chinwe, we talk on the state of COVID-19 for the country. Yes, the cases of coronavirus for the world don't pass 63 million. Countries where they get numbers of infections are countries where Nigeria get political, business, and family relations with. Them say make America witness more cases of COVID-19 infections after the Thanksgiving holiday. Make the same no happen for Nigeria. Them say they don't want this to happen because of Christmas, like it happened. I'm interpreting for those of you who don't understand it. Anyway, their suggestions is, may Nigerians avoid Christmas carols, avoid large gatherings, face mask day compulsory, wash hand regularly, maintain social distance, and obey COVID-19 rules. Okay, so our people, in the midst of people being kidnapped, COVID is still real. So I wanted to take this light Pidgin English news moment to tell you, for our people in Nigeria, all over the world, let's still be cautious. To discuss the effects of COVID-19 and the effects of terrorism in Nigeria with me, I am excited to bring a new friend who has boots on the ground, who has been working with families, who has had conversations with Patience Ishaku and Patience Ishaku's family. I'd like to welcome my friend Lawrence. Please welcome Lawrence to the studio. Welcome to the show, Lawrence. How are you?
Priscilla, thank you very much. Thank you. Nice meeting you here.
Yes, it's great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. So I just want to start by saying, could you please introduce yourself to our guests and tell them who you are and what you do?
All right. My name is Lawrence Xyongo. I work with volunteers of International Committee on Nigeria ICON, going out giving the awareness and also giving report and also kind of seeing the direct incidents, what is going on, and the true picture of what is going on in Nigeria, and also say it the way it is. And we've been doing that throughout this year, and also experiencing the attacks and also during the COVID period, and visiting communities and give awareness. Like in Boko, went to see the traditional council and give them awareness about the coronavirus, and to ensure so that at least they've been killed by the Fulanis, so that the coronavirus again should not come and kill them. Let them not face the effect of the attacks. Is to ensure that they should take all the measures not to be engaged, and also to take in the rules of the COVID-19 and be ensured that they should not involve themselves in anything that they will be captured with the coronavirus. This is how we kind of go to the community. No even good space. The government abandoned them. They didn't care. They are IDPs. They have been displaced in Bokos. So these are some of we have to give them awareness and share the face masks to them, because we're kind of so much afraid and think that other NGOs and other will come in to the community to visit or to do any other thing. So let them give them the awareness. To surprise you, we'll go to some of these villages and rural communities. They don't know anything about the coronavirus. They're hearing it from us for the first time. They're seeing the face masks for the first time, sharing it to them and telling them about the social distance and how it is to be social distance too. And Me, the traditional council, also condole with them in things that are going on in Nigeria. At least these are some of the basic things we've been doing, giving strictly awareness and also telling a lot of things what is going on in Nigeria.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us and for sharing all of that. So, Lawrence, tell me about you because I could be wrong, but you look like very young age. What made you start thinking, I want to go volunteer with ICON? Like, why, did you go to school and then hear about this stuff? What is in you that makes you connect to the stories?
All right. I will first say that I appreciate Icon for bringing me in, because the first thing I discovered the challenges in my community. I first saw it in my community where
Hmm.
people have been killed. We lost more than 600 people in my own community,
What?
and houses were being burned, churches were being destroyed, burned. Many worship on the stones. They can't even go to their church anymore longer. So the silence was so too much. I started the advocacy on my own. But when I was doing it, I couldn't have that more strength until when I met Kel Apt, who had put me through, and also use the Icon platform to also take me to show me this is the basic ways. But actually, I have the passion. First was the passion when I saw things going on. I have to say, using my social media handles and also taking some of these pains within me and also taking an action condemning the attack the way it is, and also calling on government attention to ensure justice, and which up to date with couldn't find this justice. From that, I have to move to other communities too. It was not just enough for my own community in Plateau
Hmm.
State, and up to the extent that I moved to other states to do the awareness in other states in Nigeria.
Hmm. Thanks for sharing that. I want to ask, what have you noticed? From what I hear, you've been in different communities, you've been working among the displaced people, the IDPs. What would you say is the greatest need that you've noticed amongst these people in the IDPs?
In fact, one of those things I noticed, the IDPs, they really suffered a lot.
Hmm.
I will first give an example in Zunuruk, community where they were playing football match, and
Hmm.
then the Fulani, that was last year. The Fulani just came in and killed them, and it's a peace football match to usher them into this Christmas, to
Hmm.
Christmas. So they were killed. After being killed throughout this year, they were not able to farm. They destroyed their
Hmm.
farms. They destroy all. Now present, most of them, you see, they'll have only few farms. They couldn't farm. This is the Dakachi, or what is referred to as the community leader or the village head of the village. He was kind of saying it. They were even facing threat by the government. The government failed to visit them. They farm. This food is for like 10 people in a family, whereby they used to farm to get 10 bags or to 20 bags for a farm. But now they got something that is not up to a bag. So it won't even help them. So they're actually in hunger. They're actually in difficulties. Don't have food to eat because their food were being destroyed. A lot of hectares of farms were being destroyed. So they're actually in pains. They're facing a lot of difficulties and challenges.
Hmm.
And also in some of these villages, they have nothing to eat.
Hmm.
They have it. They don't. It was not like before where they will farm, they have that freedom to go to farm freely, but we're not able to farm. I was so much surprised when Buhari was making a statement that the cause of food was as a result of the middlemen. It's not true. When look at it, the middlemen were not the cause of it, but the Fulani were the cause. Who are the Buhari tribesmen? Were the ones that destroy farms, and no justice system have been set about this. Nothing
Hmm.
is saying something about this. How can we bring food to this displaced? They're displaced and no food for them to eat. And one of the IDP was telling me that the corona would not kill them, is hunger and Fulani are killing them. That's the face, this is what they're facing.
Hmm. And just for our audience to clarify, there has been killings by Fulani militants who have invaded some of these villages. We've shared some of these stories, but one of the targets have been the farmland, and people have been moved away from their farms and have not been able to farm, which is causing not just food scarcity for the people of the village, but for people, places where their farm produce used to supply food to, there is food scarcity that is then, spreading across the country. Lawrence, when you just think, just as yourself now, think about how can people in America today, or in England, or people in even Lagos or Abuja that may not be experiencing what we're experiencing firsthand, what can they do to help this displaced people? Because by displaced people, just for our audience, when he says IDP, these are people who have been attacked and displaced from their homes and are refugees. It's just another word that we use for refugees, that they don't have a place to be. So what are ways that we can help today? What are some ways that we can help? And I'm going to talk a little bit about you and all the other volunteers, but just give me a chance to, how can we help?
All right. One of the other places, I think in one of these villages in Kaduna State, up to now, they don't have place to sleep. Their houses have been burnt. Their churches been destroyed. But let's first focus on where to sleep. And they don't have shelter. Their houses, some still sleep outside. Imagine this now, Hamatan. Some sleep outside. They don't have very good place to sleep because it has been burned already. Ngwamagaji faced that's the second attack in their community. And we also have places that they don't have food. Coming back even to some of the communities in Boko, Dafo, that they face this attack in Nakudun, they're facing more challenges with the flood, internal issues, whereby one is killed today, two is killed today. As I'm talking to you, even today, in one of the community in Kamaru, 2 women, wife of a pastor, was being killed by a Fulani man today. So these are some of the stories that you just hear about them, said 1, 2. So one thing is that they need good, proper security, that if United Nations in themselves, I believe they can do something to talk to the president, that yes, this thing is real. This thing is real. And people should join in the advocacy and say more about it. Once we say more about it, it also reduces. And these people, the IDPs, the displaced person, will feel that, yes, people are being together with them. They're standing with them. And also the area of food is actually one of the difficulties. A lot don't have food to eat. They don't have what to eat presently as I'm talking to you. We see how to raise awareness that to bring food for these displaced person, people. And also school, we need to take them back to school. These orphans need to go back to school. Widows need to have something to do because they have some children that they can take care of. I'm just wondering, someone was busy crying to me, say that initially, my mommy, my daddy used to buy Christmas clothes, but nobody to buy Christmas clothes for. Nobody to eat the Christmas rice with. Who is going to give them? The government will not do that, we know. It's individual, you and I, that we can give such support. Nobody can do that. We have to just have to see from our pocket to see what are we going to do to donate practically now. It's not just with prayers. The little you have, share with someone during the season. Share with somebody. Give to someone. Thank you.
Thanks, Lawrence, for that passionate talk. I want to let our audience know that Lawrence is directly supported by ICON. So if you go to our iconhelp.com/give-help, the Give Hope campaign is still running. Please go to the Give Hope campaign, and you're going to see it on your screen very soon. When you give to the Give Hope campaign, these are the things you're helping directly. You're giving that boy, that child that did not have Christmas food, you're giving him a chance to have food for Christmas. You're giving us a chance to create a system where maybe in the future we can build homes. Maybe we can build homes for these displaced people. I know AJ and I have been talking about how can we raise enough money to actually go to Nigeria and make a tangible difference. What will it look like if we say, for a couple of months next month, we'll do this broadcast in Nigeria while building homes for displaced people. Friends, we don't want to. This podcast is not about talk, and I'm so grateful for Lawrence. Lawrence, I really appreciate you for passionately making it real to our listeners, to our audience, what is happening. iconhelp.org/give help /give dash hope. Sorry. We need you right now. Pause. You can come back to this broadcast. Pause and go give. Anything you give will do something. Will do something. These families need us. They need us to make a difference. They need us to make a difference. I'm going to say it as much as I can. If you say, I have no money, but you might know somebody that does have money, or you might have somebody that has money in your network. Take this broadcast and share it, or send it specifically to them and say, I wonder if there's something you can do this Christmas. We are not doing this because we are trying to waste our breath. We are not trying to get your pity or your tears. We want to make a difference. This is a challenge with a smile on my face. Let's make a difference. Lawrence, I'm going to shift gears a little bit and ask you to tell me about how do you survive? You volunteer a lot of your time. How do you and your volunteers, first of all, how do you recruit the other volunteers? I was watching a video the other day. AJ, I don't know if we have any of those videos of each of your volunteers saying how happy they are to volunteer with ICON. But I know you're volunteering your time. What do you do for livelihood? How do you take care of yourself, your own family, your own needs? How do you take care of those?
Personal needs, I also farm, but due to this series of attacks, I was not able to farm that much. We're afraid that we should not just waste your money. But I also thank God. The more I also volunteer, I got assistance from ICON and also to other volunteers too. They are happy to do it. We don't pay them. We can't pay them because someone can just leave to his house to go to a very down village to get a report of an eyewitness. And come on, it's not that easy. So we just kind of the little we share and also appreciate each other, and they've all accepted with joy and they're happy to do that. We have good number of volunteers and many.
Oh, we're losing connection. Lawrence, can you hear me? Lawrence, can you hear me? Oh, there you are.
So that they can also register and also contribute to. And the volunteers have been doing a lot, and we move together with them. And also, any of our outing, sometimes we sleep outside, and sometimes we don't have what to say that we go to an hotel because it's actually in the room. We sleep with the IDPs too. We stay with them and also eat what they eat. We discuss with them and have also fun with them and pray together.
Lawrence, about how many volunteers do you think you have?
Yeah, in Plateau State, we have 42 volunteers.
Can you say that again?
We have 42 volunteers in Plateau State.
42?
Yes, 42 volunteers. Then
another business their time.
Yeah, in Southern Kaduna, we have 23. In Southern Kaduna, we have 23 volunteers. And then in Borno, we have only 5 volunteers.
Wow. That's, I don't know if you all heard that. That's 42 plus 23, that's what, 65?
Yes.
And then you have another 5, that's about 70 people who are themselves not affluent, who are themselves living in some of these attacked areas, but are giving of their time to volunteer. How do you appreciate your volunteers, Lawrence? How do you?
We don't want to spend the money. Anything, any of our outing, we just get something small. Sometimes 20,000 naira for 5 days outing. 20,000 naira we give you because you sacrifice your work and everything.
So I want to challenge our audience. In addition to supporting the IDP IDPs themselves and the people, the communities that have been displaced due to terrorist activities and persecution going on in Nigeria. In addition to that, you are also supporting these volunteers that are going themselves to care for these people in any way they can. In this season, the need was masks and hand sanitizers for COVID, and they have taken that to the rural areas, putting themselves at risk. So I want to challenge us today. What can we do at this time? You can specify when you give to say, I want this to go towards the volunteers, or I want this to go towards providing food for the displaced people. I want this to go towards giving Christmas presents to the kids who have lost their parents. What can you do specifically? This, what we're showing you today, is the practical work of ICON. Working through the hands and feet of volunteers like Lawrence. How can we stand with them? When we say, I stand with Nigeria, how can we make this a reality? By giving. Yes, pray. Yes, share this video. Share this video. Y'all, I'm serious. This is important news that some people, that your church may not know about. We can come and do a Bible study for you. It doesn't have to be the podcast. You can say, how can you engage my church? How can you engage my school? What can you do? We want to be involved. We want to get this word out. So Lawrence, I want to say thank you so much for being with us. I know it's getting late in Nigeria. Thank you for being with us. If there's any last words you want to say to our viewers, what will you leave us with?
Thank you for joining. Continue to support ICON. ICON is doing great job, and I believe ICON is doing a lot. We pray that we get more volunteers as we get to 2021 and get more supporters that we give to see that since we can't go, give with money, and God will see us through. Thank you.
Thanks for being here, Lawrence. We deeply appreciate you. Have a blessed night and a very Merry Christmas. In spite of it all, we wish you a very happy Christmas celebration. That was Lawrence Xyongo joining us from Jos, Nigeria. We're grateful that the network stuck around for as long as it did. I don't know what you all are feeling. There's a lot of dissonance for me right now. And I know we've gone a little bit longer than usual, but I just want to address this because I've been almost in a funk, but today was the day that I was like, I'm going to get in the Christmas spirit and I'm going to get excited and I'm going to have fun. And while we're not saying that's bad, I want you to leave room to feel what these people are feeling. They're spending Christmas under the stars, not because they're lazy, not because they're on drugs, not because they did anything wrong, but because they were attacked by a government who is not doing much, who is, in my opinion, my humble opinion, this does not represent the opinion of ICON or anyone else. In my humble opinion, they are being ignored by our government. What can you do this Christmas? The Hope campaign, the Give Hope campaign is going until the end of December, and my people, if you have not done anything, this is the time to do something. This is the time to give something. I'm slowing us down just to pause and think and be grateful for what you have, but be aware of what others don't have. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Hear Their Voices. My name is Priscilla Ozoro Acevedo. Follow us on Instagram at Stand With Nigeria. Y'all, give me a Christmas present. Get us to 100 followers. We're trying to grow that community because I want to start having a lot of the conversations via Instagram. So the 5,000 of you that follow us on Facebook that may watch this at some point because it's on your feed, follow us at Stand With Nigeria on Instagram. Leave us messages on Twitter. Email us at info@iconhelp.org. Facebook, as always, at Icon Help. Follow us on ICON Help on YouTube. We're excited to have this conversation. I want this to be a conversation. We want to hear your voice. This is not a podcast for just Priscilla's voice, as lovely as it is, but we want to get your voice in the conversation. In addition to Gloria Puldo that was here, in addition to Lawrence that was here today, we want to get as many voices as possible. If you're organizing conversations in your community, we want to be part of that, and we want to highlight you too. Do you want to be a guest on the podcast? Send us a message. We'd love to have a conversation with you. Have a blessed Christmas. For unto us a child is born, and the government will be on his shoulder. And he shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Prince of Peace. Our hope is that all of these communities in Nigeria today will experience the Prince of Peace this Christmas. Have a wonderful Christmas, and goodbye from ICON.